I get the privilege of introing our next speaker. We're super excited to have him. He has a $200 million agency, over 6,000 agents. He is awesome. He's also written a book, so you're going to want to find on that. But super excited to have him here. His name is John Wetmore. Come on, give it up in the chat for him.
Good morning, y'all. Appreciate the intro. And Cody, love everything you're doing, dude. You could actually end this event with what you trained on how to double, because literally most people don't have anywhere near enough activity just in their day-to-day business to hit their goal of doubling. But as a couple people posted, I don't remember who posted it because there's a shit ton of y'all chatting. Most agents do overcomplicate this business, and it is a very simple business. It can certainly seem overwhelming at first, typically because you don't know what you're doing, and that's normal. And I think some people feel that's not normal. Hunter, I loved your comment. I'm trying to scroll and see it, but it's somewhere in there. You want to sell more premium, not more apps, which is dope. One of the things, and it wasn't on my talk, but I like the comment, so I'm gonna give you a little tip, whether for you or others. You know, when I was new, man, I remember early on selling life insurance back in 2012, 2013, part-time, just trying to figure the thing out. My first year, after I went to do annual reviews, I went through my list of clients and I was like, let me go through the big premiums and I'll call those first because they got money. It seems like everyone's broke. And I went through, and like my average app that year was like $40 a month on life premium. It was really bad because I was selling scared. I was selling based on my budget. I was selling based on like the fear of people not being able to afford things. And my approach was incorrect. And I had a mentor of mine talk to me, and he's like, you know, if you just show higher prices, people will buy more insurance. And I didn't really believe him at first. And so when I started sitting with the clients, when I was showing pricing with any product you sell, one of the things that I did that changed my world, and I've trained agents to do, and it's really simple because I think a lot of people try to sell more premium incorrectly. But the way we did it, dude, is we would just go like, hey, Hunter, so I'm going to show you, we're going to work with your budget, of course, like I explained, yada, yada, whatever your pitch is, it is. But at the end, I'd be like, but I'm going to show you, they make me show you the most you're eligible for. This is the top number you can get that you qualify for. And I would always show them the max. So 250 grand is $385, or 50 grand whole, whatever your product is. You can go like, I'm going to show you the most you're eligible for. Here's the top number. And there's a lot of psychology of it as well, like price anchoring. They see something $435 a month, and then you show them something that $150 a month that maybe you thought was expensive, but relative to a max, it's like, oh dang, that's actually really affordable. And the one thing other than that I learned is a lot of clients, I prejudged them, and people had more willingness or ability to pay for things than I thought they did. And so when I started showing, like even on final expense, I used to show like 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, and everyone picked 8 or 10. When I started showing like 10, 20, 40, so many people started buying 20. It was insane. And it's a really simple tip that works extremely well, and it takes your preconceived notions about clients out of the equation. And I've just learned a lot of clients, a lot of agents make the same mistake along the way. So hope that helps you guys as well. And then, of course, I would think from there, dude, at your skill set, that was just a matter of uncovering other opportunities. You know what I mean? Doing a real good financial inventory, finding out what people have for retirement accounts, other insurance accounts, just other needs. And most agents are timid to ask a lot of questions about client situations. But if you get a full financial picture of what someone's got going on, take care of what you're there to take care of. And then second, once you're done with that piece of business that you showed up for, now it's navigating other opportunities, maybe at different times. Sometimes you can do it there. Sometimes it's rebook an appointment. But it's really easy to find a lot of IUL, annuity. And again, if y'all sell other products, cross-selling things in really simple ways. So what I did want to talk about is certainly I'm a big fan of doubling. When I made changes in my career back, I don't know, been almost 10 years ago now, it was very heavy activity based. It's the basis of the book that you can see that way. A ton of y'all have bought it, so I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing it, Joe. Appreciate you, dude. I'm not surprised you shared the link. it was very heavily activity based for me because I realized I wasn't putting in enough work for the things I said I wanted. And for me, my income tripled in 1 year, just purely because of activity. And a lot of people are afraid to make that commitment, where they say they'll make the commitment and then they don't do it. I had someone DM me a little bit earlier, and he's like, I always put out high activity goals, but I always miss them. Should I lower it? And I'm like, why don't you just hit them? Why don't we go with that? You know what I mean? It's like, it really is that simple. But I think the main reason that most of y'all don't hit goals, I see a lot of people. I was talking to a dude in my coaching program the other day, and he was like, every time I set a goal, I feel like I miss it, And I'm like, the goal, what are the goals? And they're always like a result oriented goal. I want to make X amount. I want to buy this house. I want to do whatever the result you want is. And that's not a bad thing. But I think the piece that people miss is like, what are the steps I have to take to hit that goal? And for me, a goal is something I chase every day. A goal isn't something that I put down on a piece of paper, and at the end of the year, I look at the paper and go, did I hit that goal? Dude, I'm going after the goal the second I open my eyes every morning. And I'm going after the goal until I close my eyes that night. For me, a goal is a chase. It's a journey to go achieve something and get something that I said I'm going to accomplish. But there's steps you got to take along the way to accomplish that goal. You can't just be like, I want to double my income. Hope like hell it gets there. It's like, all right, what do I got to do to double my income? What steps do I got to take day in and day out? And where I learned a lot of y'all fail is you haven't, and you need to master your calendar. Like, you really have to own your calendar and your schedule. Talking to another guy yesterday, and on a training call with the True Wealth guys. I don't know if any of them are on here. If the kid's on here, cool. Hopefully he learns from it. Super nice guy, young kid. I think he was 21, 22 years old. Wanted to hit some things. Challenged him a little bit the next day. I'll keep the story short, but I challenged him a little bit to a certain amount of activity. And I was trying to figure out his schedule, what time he was willing to get on the phones. And he goes, I don't know, I usually get on around 11. And I said, why so late? And he sort of stopped. He's like, I don't know. Like, he was confused that starting at 11 a.m. was late, first of all. And I'm like, what time do you get up? He's like, well, 6. And then I have my routine, and then I start dialing as soon as I'm done. And I asked him his routine, and he goes, I go to the gym, I eat breakfast, and I play with my dog. And I'm like, that takes 5 hours? I'm like, it doesn't compute in my head. Like, explain it further. And it's like, you start looking at that, and maybe some of y'all are giggling at it, but a lot of y'all are doing the equivalent in your world. There's all this stuff you do before you start doing the thing you need to do to hit the goal you want to say. And for me, I'm such a master of my calendar. I know long before I'm going to do something, when I'm going to do it, what time I'm going to do it, how long it's going to last. I know when all my calls are scheduled. I know when the gym is scheduled. I'm like if you could put if you could lay over day by day my schedule, it's the same a lot. What I do in the middle varies a little bit, who I talk to call them on, things like that. But like, I get up at the same time, I go to the gym at the same time, I have a smoothie at the same time, I'm in the sauna at the same time, I do the cold plunge at the same time. Like, my life is very dictated by my calendar. However, I allow deviations when life gets in the way, and I just make up for it. I get up earlier, I stay up later, I do more one day than the next day. I just adjust. But I don't let the things in my world dictate my calendar. My calendar dictates what happens in my life. And that's a big mistake a lot of y'all make as well. I think having discipline is insanely important. It's the D in the do more. For those that haven't read the book, the do more now, get better later is, again, literally, if most of y'all just stopped worrying about all the trainings you do all day, every day, all night, every night, and actually just went to work, you would make more money. Most people. Not saying training isn't important, but so many people focus on training and don't put the activity behind it to implement the training. Thank you, Reese, for sharing. If you guys want the link that Reese just shared, I actually have an exercise that you guys can go through that helps you with your yearly goals, your daily, weekly, monthly schedule, and gives you the ability to track all of your numbers every week, all year. And it does all kinds of math and formulas. It's a tracker I use to keep up with my stuff. If you just go to johnwetmore.com/resources, Reese put the link there. It's free. It'll just come to you. There's a couple of videos that explain the exercises, how to set goals, how to do your calendar, and then how to track all your numbers. I'm giving that out for anybody that wants it. Literally, just come to your email for free. So I would say, from there, it's really learning how to have discipline and focus on in your daily world. I certainly believe focusing on your health is a very big piece of having the mental capacity to deal with everything you got going on. It's really hard to be disciplined in your business area when you're not disciplined in the rest of your life. I don't see a lot of people that are like undisciplined everywhere and they kill it in business. It's not normal. Certainly there are a couple people out there that certainly figure out how to do it. But for me, I just learned, man, if I pay attention and focus on my health every day, the rest of my life goes a lot smoother. If I miss my normal routine, if I miss going to the gym, if I miss a workout and sweating and getting it in and get my mind off life, my day goes different. I have a different mentality. My staff knows, my wife knows. People are like, you missed the gym today, didn't you? I'm like, yeah, that feeds me. And I think it's super important. And when you're not healthy, when you're in bad shape and you eat like crap and you feel terrible, it's like, it is hard to like focus on business every day. It drains. There's actual science on it, which I'm not going to regurgitate. I just read it and I learn it. And I'm like, oh, that makes all the sense in the world. But everyone knows when you eat like crap, you feel like crap. And when you feel like crap, it's really hard to do things at a high level. And we're talking about making six figures, multi-six figures. It's really hard to do that when you don't fuel your body and your soul and everything in your mind and things like that. So it's like really focus on that part of your life. My next thing I want to talk about is balance. Man, I get on almost every event I do, every conversation I have in group settings or whether I go to road shows or any other event, a lot of people ask me about balance. And I was thinking about it a little bit yesterday. I was watching a video on it from another guy, and it hit me. And I just really started to think, like, how do I want to talk about that? And how does it apply? And I realized that every single person over the years that's asked me about balance in this industry, I love you all, but every single person who's ever asked me about that is broke. I've never had someone rich ask me about balance ever in my career. I'm like, is it related? I'm kind of thinking so. It's like, imbalance is a funny thing. It's like the whole, I don't want to put an analogy. I don't know. We're talking about working out. It's like the whole like muscle versus fat thing. You know what I mean? Like one weighs more than the other. So you can be heavier with more muscle. You know what I mean? Like your body appearance can look different. Like when I started working out, I gained weight, but I looked more trim, and man, I've learned like balance is very similar. That it's very deceiving. Like when you work your ass off and you make enough money to change your family situation, the balance game is different. Like you don't need to sit around and watch Netflix to have balance. You don't need, like, when I can take care of my kids and, make sure they're in the school they need to be in and have all the things they need to have and go to college and they don't have to worry. My family doesn't have to worry. My wife doesn't have to worry. She can stay, like, they can just, that gives me mental balance that I need. Most people need this balance because there's something up here saying you need it. But the more I've learned, like when I accomplish things, that fuel, and I have a lot of today balance relative to what most people view it as. And I think a big mistake a lot of people make is they view balance like, how much balance do I have today on Friday, November 15th? And then how much balance do I get again tomorrow on Saturday, November 16th? And then how much balance do I have on Sunday? And then how much balance do I have on Monday? Like you need balance every single day. And I just find it awkward. For me, it's like the balance was 10 years ago. I was working a lot. I was gone a lot. I was taking a lot of phone calls. I was on the road a lot. I missed some things of my kids. I just wasn't at everything. But today it's shifted and I can make a lot more money with way less input of time today than I could 10, 12 years ago. And I have an overabundance of balance today relative to what most people feel it at. Now, when I get stuff done, I get stuff done. Like I go into the office, I showed up just being transparent. had stuff going on in my house. We just built a new house, and we had some people in here the other day. And most days I don't go to the office till probably, I don't know, Reese can probably tell you. I walk in the door and Reese is there. He could probably tell you what the average time I come in is. But if I had to guess, it's probably, I don't know, what do you think, Reese? 10:30, maybe something like that's a pretty normal day. 11, somewhere in that range. Because I have a routine in the morning. My health is in the morning. It's the first few hours of my day every day. 10:30. There you go. So remember the other day when I showed up early, bro? Like I had stuff going on in my house and there was like contractors here and I needed to get out. This stuff stresses me out. So I'm like, I'm going to the office. And I showed up at like, I don't know, it was like 9:15 or something. And they like freaked out because someone opened, we keep our door locked, but they heard the door open and no one was supposed to be there. And I walked in and they were coming out to see who was there. And Amanda was like, what the hell are you doing here? Because it was 9:15. Like that's my normal today. But 12 years ago, dude, I was up at 5 a.m., go to the gym at 5:30, finish at 6:30. I was at the office dialing by 7 a.m. 10 years ago to make stuff happen. Today, I can make stuff happen very differently. So what I see a big mistake a lot of people make is they think this plan of high activity, high calls, out of balance, the whole work smarter, not harder thing. I hate that shit for people. Like at the beginning, when you're broke, you can't have that. Most people just can't have that right now. But a lot of y'all think what it feels like being busy and overwhelmed and not having, you think that's a forever plan. If you do this thing right, this industry is people in this industry, those of us that do this right are so well compensated and it like multiplies over time like an inordinate amount. It's not very linear. Like the amount of effort versus the income continues to go up in multiples. And with time, you will have the balance you so seek. Do more now, reap the rewards later is your second book. I love it, Joe. I should do a second book. Fear messes with a lot of you guys. And I think fear is a funny thing. It's like when you don't know what to expect, you have fear. And you typically don't know what to expect because you haven't done it enough to understand the law of averages that comes. Like the ones that are making six figures on here, they know how much input it takes to get a certain amount of output. And they're not confused, And when you have those fears, it's like, I was watching an interview this morning. They were talking to Michael Jordan about fear. And they asked if he ever has fears of missing like game-winning shots, big opportunity shots. Like, does he have fears of that? And again, a lot of y'all have fear of going out and even taking a shot, much less missing a shot, just in your everyday life. And he's like, why would I have fear? I'm so well prepared and I put in the work every day that I know my skills. I know my capability. Just because I missed one day doesn't define me. I'm so prepared. I know I'm going to kill it in the long run. And I'm kind of giving my version of what he said, but it's like a lot of y'all have fear because you wing this industry. You literally are just winging this industry. You don't know your product. You don't know your underwriting. You don't know what clients qualify for. You don't know your numbers. You don't know what it takes to make a certain dollar amount. You're afraid to invest in your business. You think if you don't have money for leads, you can't go generate business. Like, go open your front door. There's 400 million people outside your front door seeking your product. And if you don't sell them your product, someone else is going to. Why do you need Cody's Kaboom lead to hit you on the head to sell you insurance? If you're broke, go out and find business, cultivate business, go to networking meetings, go to Joe's office and find a guy like him who sells PNC and exchange business and refer him PNC business. He'll refer you life. And don't go to Joe because he already has, but someone like him. You all have 5,000 other insurance agencies around your local area. Are you creating referral partnerships anywhere? Are you going around to neighborhoods? Are you going to host events in your community? Are you doing anything besides literally just sitting at home sulking about your current result? And most people aren't, So it's like, stop having fears and go out and get what you want and learn your industry. Be a professional at what you do. You should know, if you've been here in your industry for a few months, you should know about everything inside and out. And if you don't, you're who I'm talking to right now. I had a mentor tell me once, and it rings in my head still every day of my life. He said, if you want to get paid like a professional, you better act like a professional. And many of y'all know your favorite athlete's stats, and you don't know your own. You know the school they went to. You know their jersey number. You know how many fantasy football points they get every week. But you don't know what product to write Mary. You know? It's like we got to be professionals at what we do. And then I'll end with this because I only have a few minutes in the sales stuff, some advice. And I'll give, if you go to johnwetmore.com/events, I'm putting on a free virtual event next week. It's an hour. I do them like every 6 or 8 weeks. It's on the 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to go through an hour of more sales training type stuff. But the sales tip I'll give you guys, and I'll end, I don't know if this timer's about up, is like, sell what your product does, not what it is. Meaning, what does it do for the client? Nobody cares about the A rating or the brochure or how long they've been in business. They don't care. They want to know what it does for their family. And use your product to solve a problem. And in order to solve a problem, you have to identify a problem. And in order to identify a problem, you have to ask really good, challenging questions to clients. And they will verbalize their problem to you. And your product, all it has to do is solve that problem in their life, and they will buy it. Sales is not complicated. And most of y'all are so busy pitching versus asking questions, identifying a problem, and solving it with your product. So that's my time. If I can help with anything, hit me up. Hope it helps. Cody, have a killer day, dude. Appreciate everything you do. See you guys.
So many of you have asked if there's an option for more access, more direct coaching. And so we've created a coaching platform called the Winner Circle, where you have a couple different options. There is a one-on-one option to where we can work directly with you on a regular basis. And then there's a small group setting, 4 to 6 people, really high achievers looking to get to just a new level in their career. We've had a ton of success in this already. First month, actually the first guy that joined deposited $7,500. Worked with them back and forth, one-on-one. The very next month, he deposited over 30 grand. So basically a 5x return on his income in 30 days. So if you're looking for something like that, you can click on the link below, get access to an application, because I'm not taking everybody. I do want to make sure it's a good fit for both of us. And if we feel like you'd be a good fit, we'll set up a one-on-one call directly with me and kind of go through your struggles, what you need help with, and what I expect of people that are joining the coaching program. So if you feel like it'd be a good fit for you and something you want more of, click the link below and we'll see you on the other side. Welcome to the Winner Circle.